Hey you, what is up mortals, it is James Hufer, here with another My Hero Academia What If. This is what if Izuku Midoriya was ready for One for All at the start of the anime, part 5. Now, in the last part, we covered the gap between Bakugo being expelled and him getting mixed up in the League of Villains. Izuku is still dealing with the death of All Might. He blames himself, but now he knows that he has to master One for All way sooner than he had to before. He needs to stand up and become the next pillar of peace much sooner than in the original show. Now, into this video. Bakugo has just been teleported back to the lair. He immediately goes to the guy who killed All Might. "You had no right! No right!" The man responds, "You only wanted that Midoriya, didn't you?" Everything that just happened is starting to make sense in Bakugo's head. He begins to realize what just happened. No. A single tear goes down Bakugo's face. He covers it up with an explosion and he thinks to himself, "I just wanted to hurt them. I didn't want this." Bakugo reaches out ready to blast the leader of the league in the face. Suddenly he finds himself falling. He falls into this dark room. Bakugo goes to take a step, but then he finds himself unable to move. There's someone else standing in the shadows. The person in the shadows steps out. Bakugo's never seen this person before. His eyes are glowing white. He seems to not be able to blink. Bakugo feels the light touching him, and this, he's not sure why, is causing him to not be able to move. For the first time since Bakugo has come here, the man with the nice suit steps up and walks out of the shadows. He walks over to Bakugo, placing his massive hand on Bakugo's face. "I'll grant you this for your hard work in helping kill the symbol of peace. However, if you ever betray me, I will take it back and I will take yours away." The man's face looks distorted and damaged. Bakugo can't move his hand. If he could, he'd be attacking this man. Bakugo feels pure fear as the man's hand touches his face. Something feels different within him. Something's changed. Not emotionally, but physically. The man releases his hand and walks back to the chair, sitting down. "Now that I have given you a gift, a quirk that will suit you nicely. You see, I reward the people who work for me, and I punish those that refuse." Bakugo is then teleported back to the room. The man in the suit leans forward, thinking. He says, "Now let's see if Bakugo makes the right decision." Bakugo now understands what he has done. He understands what he must do to make up for it. He's now standing in his own bedroom. He begins to go downstairs slowly. As he starts to go downstairs, he can see flickering red and blue lights in his lounge room. From the window, he can see a police car. It seems that there's a policeman already downstairs talking to his mother. He must have been reported by someone from UA. He knows this isn't the time. He goes upstairs and writes 2 letters. One of them he addresses to his mother. The other one he addresses to Izuku. He leaves the one for his mother on the desk and he goes out his window after packing a few things. He puts on a cap and then he has his hoodie over the top of it. That should cover his face a bit, he thinks. He runs away from his house, trying not to use his quirk as his quirk's pretty obvious, using his agility and physique to go over fences and avoid any areas that it looks like there's police at. He makes it to Izuku's place. He tries to open up Izuku's window, but it seems to be locked. He uses a really small explosion. Bakugo creates an explosion smaller than normal. Normally he's never managed to create an explosion this small before. It's odd, but he doesn't really notice it at the time as he's in a bit of a rush. Only the lock was shattered. He was able to open the window, go in, place a note on Izuku's desk, then go out the window again. Bakugo begins to make his way to the subway. Because the public hasn't been notified yet, he was able to get a ticket to Hosu City. Meanwhile, over with Izuku, he is in class. The teacher is trying to lighten the mood by picking hero names. This is normally something that's saved for after the sports festival, but the sports festival has been postponed. In this version of events, Izuku still chooses Deku, as the event with Ochako did still happen. He picks this name for 2 reasons. One, because it's the name that Ochako gave him, one because of the meaning that Ochako gave it, and the second because he wants Bakugo to know that it was Deku who beat him. During some combat training, Izuku learns to push himself up to 25% from 20%, though doing this often and for large amounts of time results in physical strain. It's not something that he can hold for long at this point, at least. So he uses it in small bursts just before an attack collides. After the death of All Might, Izuku started to drift away from his friends Ochako and Ida. Since the USJ, he hasn't really spent much time with them, and after he lost Bakugo and All Might, Izuku pretty much is either training or working on something. He's never just hanging around. He's mentally exhausted from all the recent events, and when he gets home, he just lays on his bed. After about half an hour or so, he sits up and goes to his desk as he has some schoolwork to do. On his desk, he notices the note. He opens it and reads it. When he realizes realizes that it says from Bakugo, he powers up into full cowl and then checks his whole room. Once he's sure that Bakugo isn't in there, he begins to read the rest of the note. The note says, Deku, I messed up. I made a mistake and this is my way of fixing it. He lists the location to the League of Villains hideout. Tell whoever you want about this. Just get justice for All Might. I didn't mean any, and it's just scribbled out. Just do what you want with it. By now I'm long gone. I'll be making a difference in my own way from now on. Also, I know your secret, but it's safe with me. And that's where the note ends. Izuku tears the last line about his secret out of a note and then takes it down to the police station. He uses his quirk to get there, but even knowing it's against the rules, he thinks this is important enough that it will be looked over just this once. Traveling there as quickly as he can, he overestimates the next jumps and then he slams into one of the walls, breaking part of it off. One of the police officers runs out with their gun out, but Izuku says, wait, this is important. It's the officer that is friends with All Might. When he realizes that it's Izuku, he puts his gun away and goes over to him. He questions Izuku about what's happening, and then when Izuku tells him that he knows the location to the League's lair, he has Izuku taken inside. Eraserhead is then informed. When Eraserhead gets the news, he rushes down to the police station. The police inform Eraserhead of what's going on, and they begin to gather the other heroes. They send out messages to all the other top heroes. The message is, meet at the police station specified, and the note on it is, it's time to get justice for All Might. A few days go by, and the heroes are all ready, and they're set to go. The other students don't have a clue what's going on, but Izuku tells everyone not to go near this specific location. Something big is about to happen, and you're going to see it on the news later. At lunch, Izuku sneaks out. He grabs his gear and goes up to the roof. He gears up, and then someone comes up the staircase. That someone says Izuku's name. Izuku turns around. He sees a man in a well-kept suit with a red polka dot tie and glasses. His hair is dark greenish, but he has a few blonde streaks throughout, and he has also got blonde eyebrows. The man says to Izuku, I know about One for All, and look, Izuku, we need to talk. A look of shock is on Izuku's face. How? And then the man explains to Izuku that at one point he was All Might's sidekick. He tells Izuku that this isn't when All Might should have died. His death was coming, but it was too soon. Something isn't right about this. All Might left myself and a few others a set of instructions for if he ever died. I was asked to keep an eye on you, and to stop you from making any hasty decisions that could result in your death. He sighs. He holds out his hand. It's nice to finally meet you, Izuku. When Izuku shakes his hand, Sir Night-Eye has a glimpse into Izuku's future. Only looking at the next day and a half or so, when he lets go, a single tear goes down his face. He says, I'm sorry, All Might, but there won't be anything I can do. Sir Night-Eye tells Izuku that if he is going, he'd better get going now. Izuku nods, powers up, leaping into the air. He begins to head towards the area. He receives a message on the way there. There seems to be an all-out fight between the heroes and the villains. He begins to rush there as quickly as possible. The place is over 2 hours away. When Bakugo sees the notification on the screen that the heroes are going after the villain, he begins to head there as well. Those idiots. Those idiots. That man will just take their power away. This is where part 5 ends. Part 6 will be out sometime in the near future. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'd be looking forward to the next part if I was you, because this is going to be probably the highlight of the past 6 or so parts. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and yeah, have an amazing day. Peace out, mortals. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.